Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. It's the weekend, as my grandson would be celebrating that he doesn't have to go to bed early because it's not school in the morning. He can stay up late. So, happy Friday. I am Noreen N. Henry, your Victorious Living Coach. I'm the founder of Victorious Living Culture, where my passion is for women's lives to be changed from mediocre to victorious, from brokenness to victorious, from being stuck and overcoming to victorious. I love to see people living victorious lives. Hi, Sheldon. Thank you for joining. Happy Friday. Hope all is well. So, today, what am I going to do today? How is everybody doing? How is everyone? We've had, I've lost count how many months now of, uh, for my case, being home, working at home. How about you? What are some of the things that you've had to change in the season that we're in? So I've been working at home, and then recently, amen, amen, we're blessed, amen. And recently we were told on my job that we're going to be working at home permanently. And not only that, there's going to be layoffs. And also, people could choose if they wanted to opt in to take the severance, but I didn't choose that. That was an opportunity for those that it made sense that they chose to take the package. So that's what's going on the job. And so that's one of the things that we're dealing with at the moment, but it's fine and all is well and all will be well because we serve a Lord that never leaves us and never forsakes us. So no matter what goes on, no matter what is going on, we're good, we're well, we're going to be fine. So we just keep moving forward, taking heed to His will and His way. All is well. It always reminds me, things come up in life, and this is where living victoriously comes in and overcoming in our circumstances to victory, because things will always come up in life, but it's how we handle them, it's what we do with them that counts, right? So, and that would how we handle them determines if our life is victorious or not. And so, in this case, with what's going on the job, I'm not worried about it. I'm fine. All is well. That's why it reminds me of the story, one of the Bible stories, where the lady, I don't remember the name, maybe there was no name, that her son had died, and she was going to see the prophet, right? And what did she do? As anybody asked her how she is, she said, all is well, right? All is well. Even though her son was home and he wasn't alive, her son had passed away. And in that, she said, all is well. So I always remember that story. So no matter what is going on in your life, no matter what you're facing in life, all is well. And there's always solutions. So even though, things come up, there's solutions. So that's what we do. We look for the solution. We don't let the circumstances get to us. We don't let the circumstances get us down. We look for the solutions, and then we overcome them. We work through them to overcome them, and that's what is victorious living. So that's how we can still smile, we can still have joy, and we can still have peace and be happy regardless of what's going on. So I hope that is a bit of encouragement for you tonight, to know that regardless of what we are facing, all is well. I want to talk about the book that was launched just yesterday. I'm part of an anthology. I'm part of I have so many projects, different projects going on. But one of the projects is um, one of the books is called it's called Truth, and it's Truth. It's women in ministry, business owners tell their story of being leaders in ministry and business. So this is the book. So we had the launch party last night, and we had an awesome time. There were giveaways, there were prizes. It was fun, and everybody, all the authors, I think there's about 10 of us. All the authors that were available were on the launch last night, and so we got to share a bit of our story. I mean, everybody everybody has a story. Everybody's gone through things, and it's nice to hear the stories of, like, when you hear the stories, when you hear stories, because everybody's got their story, but when you hear other stories, it's like, wow, you didn't go through much compared to what other people have gone through, right? When you hear other people's stories, and then when you look at what they have overcome and see where they are now and how they're living victoriously, it gives hope to others. And that's what this truth book is for, right? It gives hope for others. So I encourage you who haven't ordered it yet, you can. I'll put the link in afterwards, and to purchase this book and read it and get hope. And because everybody's going through things, everybody's going through different things, but you could have a story from in this book from one of the authors that resonates with you, and will give you hope for whatever situation that you're facing at this moment, because everything is really temporary, right? As what's that saying goes, this too shall pass. As we're going through circumstances, when we think about things like that, it's gonna pass. But even though it's gonna pass, how are we handling it? How are we finding solutions? And are we in peace as we are going through? So I encourage you to get that book, Truth, and to look out also, because even though the anthology is launched, we have more things that are coming up from this anthology. So stay tuned. Stay tuned to see what is coming up in the future for the anthology. What am I going to talk about next? Well, every other Friday, I do highlighting of those that own their lives. And so next week Friday is scheduled for somebody that's going to be, actually they're located in London, so we're switching the date. So they will be highlighted on Saturday instead of Friday. So I will be sending out that notification. So anybody on here that's listening and those on the replay, if you want to be highlighted, tell your story, a bit of your story of how you are owning your life, you can contact me, and we can get you scheduled, because we do those every other Friday. And even with that, doing that show, it's another way to give hope for others, because like I said, everyone's going through, everybody's got different circumstances they're going through. And for those that want to own their life but don't know where to start, this is an encouragement to help them with that, because the only way our lives change is if we take charge of it, individually take charge of our lives. And that's what owning your life is about. And that's how you are victorious, by doing something, like not sitting back and letting life happen to you. You are doing something to change your life, to enhance your life, to in helping others as well, right? Not just, because it's not just about us. We're all here. For me, I believe in the Lord, and I believe that we are all here for a purpose. So it's to find that purpose. Can you close the door, please? To find that purpose and fulfill your purpose, because I want it, when it's all said and done, that it said to me, well done, good and faithful servant. So I am fulfilling my calling while I am here on earth, and it's the Lord that actually led me to victorious living culture. He led me to a victorious living movement, and I say it's a culture, a victorious living culture movement to change the culture to victorious living. So this is an encouragement for those as well with finding your purpose. Like what is your purpose? If you need help with that, actually, I have questions. You can contact me. You can and I can provide you with the questions to so that you can find out what your purpose is here on life and what it is you're passionate about to help you to find that what that is so that you can fulfill your purpose while you're here on earth. So you could email me at noreenhenry@gmail.com. Noreen N. Henry, an extra N in the middle, @gmail.com. And let me know that you saw the live and that you're interested in getting the questions to help you to find your purpose and your passion in life. So if you want the questions, want the help with that, contact me and I will send it to you, because I believe everyone is here for a purpose. We are here for different things. Like for me, my passion and my purpose is victorious living, because we can have joy, peace, and happiness regardless of the circumstances. We don't have to, things come up, but we don't have to let those things get in us and get rooted in us to make us down. No, we can still stay happy and we can still stay joyful and we still have peace regardless of what is going on, and we work through our circumstances to victory. So even with that, anybody needs help with that, contact me. That's what my passion and my purpose is, to help those to know that we don't have to suffer, like in silence. We can get the help that we need. We just have to make sure that we get the right help. Because, there's so much help out there, but we have to be careful. We have to be prayerful, right? We need to be prayerful to make sure that we are led to who the Lord wants us to get our help from, because we can't get it from anybody. Because I can give you a quick story. I remember when I was going through with my former husband, we went to a counselor. Because this is years ago. We went to a counselor, and that counselor said things that made things worse. Because I remember, like, whatever we were speaking about, like me and my former husband were speaking about, and then he would say, yeah, but the counselor said right. So, but what the counselor said wasn't right. He gave wrong information. So the information that he advised didn't help, made things worse. So this is why we have to be careful who we go to, who we speak with. We have to seek the Lord to, the phone is going off. We have to seek the Lord for him to show us and lead us. Amber alert. What's the Amber alert? Sorry, that's my phone going off. We have to seek the Lord for him to guide us, who to go to that will help us in the right way. Oh my gosh! So that's one part of that story too, and I guess I say everything happens for a reason too, because if I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't know to now give this advice. Because to look back, it's funny, but it wasn't funny, because you're thinking that you're getting good advice from this. He had to have been a marriage counselor back then, but it wasn't good advice. It was not good advice at all. So we have to be careful who we seek advice from. And, I have a program coming up, a 30-day program, this journey for foundational tips for victorious living. And in there, it talks about discernment, because discernment is another biggie that we need to have. So I encourage, when that course is launched, I encourage you to take that too, because it's the foundational tips, a 30-day journey of foundational tips for victorious living. So it will be coming out by the end of the month. It should be coming out, but I'll announce it. But these are things to help us in life. That's what my passion is, to help people in life, to help move from mediocre, move from being stuck, move from the brokenness, because even with that, I have so much that I can talk about with the brokenness, because with brokenness, when it's not dealt with, it we get layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of brokenness on top of unbrokenness. And so with that, that has to be undone, like one by one. And I can speak for my life, where when I started the inner healing journey, it's been a journey, it's been a process. Like when I overcome one thing, something else appears, and then I overcome that. So it's been a process. Because I remember, like, just a few years ago, one of the things that it started to bother me, how, because I was born and raised in England, and I came here as a late teen. And then when I came here, because I was young, I was started working at first, and then after that my cousin put me in school, and then working, and then having the family. So I was just doing and doing and doing. So it was many years later, because it's just a few years ago, and I've been here more than 30 years, that it started to bother me that we were uprooted from what we knew, right? We came all the way from London, come all the way to the US, where it was totally different. Hi sis, thank you for joining. And so that's one of the areas of brokenness, like being uprooted like that. We were torn. We were actually torn. And I can tell you it bothers me to this day, right? Because we were torn from how we were raised, how our family, our friends. And when I tell you the scene at the airport when we were coming here, we caused a scene because everybody was crying and we didn't want to leave, right? We didn't want to leave what we knew. So that caused another level of brokenness. So that's what I'm saying. We have layers and layers and layers that it has to be undone, and be undone one at a time, because like I said, I have different things that I've been undoing and being healed from, and it's a process and it is a journey. Because who would have thought that when I came to this country at 17 years old, and how many years later it was, I had to have been in my 40s when it started to bother me. No, not even 40s, maybe it was 50s, actually, my early 50s, that it started to bother me that of how we were uprooted and how we were torn, because we were torn because of, especially the scene that we made at that big scene. It was a big scene at the airport with us leaving. So we were torn, right? We were torn from our family, torn from our friends, torn from, because even our friends were at the airport. It wasn't just family, it was friends as well that came to see us off. And so not knowing that we came here because of, we were told that here you have more opportunities, you got better opportunities in this country. So, but even though it was a good reason for coming over here, it still caused brokenness, right? And to this day, my family over there will bring up, and even friends will bring up how it was when we left, right? And this is now 38 years ago that we left London and came to live in the States. So I'm just talking about this to talk about how we have the brokenness in us, and if we're not healed from us, it's one of the things that make us stuck. And so we need to be working on our internal selves so we can be better, so we can be unstuck, so we can move forward and not be mediocre. I don't know why I was led to tell this story tonight. But it's just to show too that, you going through things. Yeah, trauma. Yes, trauma occurs every day. And with the trauma, you don't know that it's trauma. You don't know. Like with that big change in our lives, that it was no choice for us. It was no choice. We had no choice. We had to just come. So that big change, you don't realize the trauma that it's caused And not just us, because like as I'm talking about it now, it's even making me want to tear up talking about it, right? And this is years ago. So this is why it shows that we have to work on our internal selves continually so that we remove what's inside to keep us clear, right? As the word says, to keep our hearts clear. Sorry, somebody's calling me. I'm doing something. Um, so that's why it's important to work on our inner selves, because we are broken. And I can tell you about another story too, that from my birth, that helps to cause the brokenness from birth for me. So it's so much things. One day I will write my full story, because I have it in bits, right? Like even with the truth anthology I spoke about tonight, my chapter is actually called "From Brokenness to wait, let me get it. From brokenness to from being broken to breakthrough." That's the chapter of my title in the book. So I encourage you to get it. It was just launched last night. Hi Haver, thank you for joining. I'm just chatting away. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the loves. Let me see. So I'm just encouraging you all tonight to look at your own lives, right? Look at your own lives. I have no clue. Look at your own lives, because I can say too, I did not know I was broken, right? I did not know I had layers and layers and layers of brokenness until being healed, starting to get healed, and these things being revealed one by one. Like when it was revealed to me how, it bothered me many years later, being torn away from what I knew to come to another country, right? That was that's just one layer of brokenness, and this was many years ago. So imagine how much more layers there are. So that's why I encourage you all to work on your inner selves, because it helps to free you, it helps to heal you. Because I can talk about too when there was a point where I couldn't cry because my heart was so hard because of all the stuff that was broken. So there was a period in my life where I couldn't cry. So, but now I can. And it's the brokenness. So that's why it's important to, whatever anybody's going through, you need help with, seek someone to talk with that you can trust, and pray on it. Pray and let the Lord show you and lead you where to go. I can tell you, have Catherine on here. She's a coach too as well. I'm a coach too, and I can help people through. But pray and let the Lord show you who to go to, because we don't need to live with all the brokenness in us where it keeps us stuck. We can overcome. We can work through our healing. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. And it's an ongoing process too, because things come up all the time. Different things come up all the time that will cause brokenness. So it's a continual work in progress for each of us. But for me, I'm glad to know and glad to have the knowledge I have now, because we were raised where you don't speak about things. You don't speak about things. So many years ago now, I wouldn't speak and let anybody know what I'm feeling or what I'm going through. I wouldn't speak about it. You've got to keep it in the home. But when you keep it in the home, what happens? It comes out in other ways. It comes out in different ways. And I can say one of the ways for me was emotional eating. That was one of the ways of it coming out, right, in different ways. So I encourage you, get the help. One of the things you can do is go on my website, NoreenNHenry.com, and get a free worksheet, a Victorious Living worksheet. You just have to put in your email and your name, and you'll get a free worksheet, the Victorious Living worksheet. So you can. That's my gift to you for tonight, and for those on the replay. So I'm gonna sign off because I could stay talking forever. So those just coming on, hi Henry. I'm getting ready to sign off. So watch the replay, and I hope this is an encouragement for those that going through, that you can come through on the other side. Because I can say too, with all the different things that has gone on, all the things that how I've changed, and all the things that